Welcome to Investors Insights. Our topic today is where's the blind side? Gentlemen, good to see you this morning. Thoroughly enjoyed the debates that went on. Over the past couple of months, we've been asked the question, can this market continue to rally? And then now in the past couple of weeks here, we're starting to get the question, will this continue to go down? And wrapped around all of that is tariffs as a topic. And how can we be blindsided? You know, there's a lot of positives that have happened because of the tariffs, and then now we're starting to hear some negatives. Adam, in our debate this morning, you brought up the good news side in terms of the consumer. Talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about the consumer. Why do we talk about the consumer every week? Consumer spending makes up 2/3 of all U.S. economic activity. That's a bunch right there.
Yes.
So personal income raised to 0.5% in April opposed to 0.1% in March. That's a huge increase in savings. That added an additional $27 billion to savings. Now going back to consumer spending, why is that important to that? We're seeing people spend less money on things like electricity and gas and other items like retail sales, which going back to the other weeks, retail sales have been a big lag, both growth-wise, job growth, and also people getting out there spending money. So we need to see some money come back into the economy, and we're actually seeing evidence of the noise of the tariffs come out to play right now.
Right. Well, people are saving more money.
Right.
And that's a positive.
Yes, that's a positive.
In many ways. At the same time, they're still spending money. The tariffs haven't totally impacted them. But Bobby, you brought up some things that were concerning where we could get blindsided in relation to the Chinese tariffs. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we head into this week with $60 billion worth of Chinese tariffs already in effect. You have no formal high-level talks on the calendar, and you also have the threat of Mexico tariffs. So a lot going on the trade war talk, but it's another trade war conflict that we're looking at very carefully that China mentioned they're going to stop exporting rare earth materials.
Okay,
elaborate
on that.
What does that mean? Well, think about this. If you pick up just about any other electronic good, consumer good, it says has a made in China stamp. What's in that electronic is rare earth metals. Why does this matter to us Americans? Well, America, we import about 80% of rare earth materials from China. That's a big number. And so you have arsenic, gallium, graphite, indium, scandium, 100% sourced from China. Smartphones, electronic vehicles, military gear, TVs, computers, all have these rare earth materials in them. If China says we're not going to export this out, you're having all these technology companies, construction materials, basically halted by China, the threat, they're not exporting the materials that we need to make these things. So it's a big deal, something we're looking at very carefully. And so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, and it's a real good point, too. As we watch the markets, as we watch your portfolio, we're looking at both sides here. What are the positives? What negatives could come out of this? And prepared to then adjust portfolio strategies in relation to the financial blueprint based on what's happening on these kind of situations. Now, the rippling effect, though, Ashley, as you pointed out in our meeting today, had to do with Mexico as well. All of a sudden now we're hearing about tariffs with Mexico.
Oh, absolutely. And Greg's right. We are very interdependent in our supply chain with Mexico. And if you really look at it on the day-to-day, autos probably would go up about $1,300 on average. Computers, Bobby was just talking about that. Actually, whether it's your hard drive or anything, your screen on computer, the tech companies bill most of it down there, and then on fuel. So when you get right down to it, there is a good bit that comes out down there. Auto primarily, because there's about 125 billion with a B in auto supply parts that come out of Mexico here, and then we turn around and sell the finished product. About 15 to 20% of our auto market goes down there. So that's a meaningful impact even at 5%.
Very much so.
And in addition to that, Greg and I were talking about this morning, if you combine China and Mexico, that's where most of our supply comes from. So the Chinese tariffs, a lot of manufacturers had shifted to Mexico. Now what they say is if they had to shift out of Mexico, large increase. For example, if you had to bring in a supply from Europe, it's about 40% more.
Right.
So manufacturers are a little bit concerned is, you're getting a lot of tariff play in our two major supply countries in the world, and that's meaningful.
Yeah, very much so. And so it's going to be an eventful summer. We're going to keep you updated on all these moving parts and details. Please know that we appreciate as you share this vlog with others. through the summer and on whether you're on vacation watching this vlog or you're also sitting in your office. We appreciate that, taking time out of your busy schedule. And as frustrated educators, we bring this information to you to keep you updated, as well as on social media. We're providing a lot of insight there as well. So we thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, and just know that yes, we're watching for the blind side. We'll keep you updated. Thanks.